Tequila, the beloved alcoholic beverage originating from Mexico, has long been associated with intriguing traditions and rituals. Among these, the inclusion of a worm at the bottom of certain bottles is a topic of both curiosity and confusion for many. As controversial as it may be, the practice of adding a worm to tequila holds cultural significance and unique characteristics that make it a subject of fascination and debate. When discussing the worm in tequila, it's important to understand that not all tequilas contain this peculiar addition. In fact, the inclusion of a worm is primarily associated with mezcal, a distilled alcoholic beverage similar to tequila but produced in specific regions of Mexico using different types of agave. The worm itself is actually the larval stage of a moth, known as Hypopta agavis. Now, let's uncover the mystery behind the presence of the worm. The story behind the presence of the worm can be traced back to history and traditions within certain regions of Mexico where mezcal is produced. According to one legend, the worm was initially added to the bottles as a marketing strategy during the 1950s. Jacobo Lozano Paez, the owner of a tequila distillery, sought a way to differentiate his product from his competitors. Inspired by the presence of insects inside the agave plants, he believed that adding a worm to his mezcal bottles would capture consumers' attention and create a memorable experience. While this legend remains influential, it should be noted that there is no official historical documentation supporting or refuting this claim. Over time, the worm became an iconic symbol associated with mezcal, with bottles featuring the creature aiming to signify authenticity and demonstrate the traditional production method. Now you may wonder, what is the purpose of the worm in tequila? Contrary to popular belief, the worm in tequila does not serve any functional purpose in the manufacturing or aging process. It does not contribute to the flavor profile or possess any transformative effect on the liquid itself. The inclusion of the worm is purely symbolic and traditional. However, there are some theories as to why the worm was initially added to mezcal and how it became an enduring tradition. One theory suggests that the worm was thought to aid in marketing efforts by capturing consumers' attention. In a competitive market, having a distinctive element, such as a worm, allowed certain producers to stand out from the crowd and create a memorable brand identity. Another theory suggests that the presence of the worm could serve as an indicator of mezcal's quality. According to this belief, if the worm remains intact and undamaged, it implies that the beverage is of superior quality and authentic. In contrast, a disintegrated or damaged worm could indicate potential adulteration or poor distillation processes. While this theory provides a context for the tradition, it remains largely anecdotal and lacks scientific evidence. Now let's address the burning question on everyone's mind. Can you eat the worm in tequila? The answer is simple. Yes, you can eat the worm. However, whether you should or not is a matter of personal preference. Traditionally, the worm is often eaten after finishing the bottle of mezcal, either by taking a bite directly or incorporating it into another dish. However, it is essential to note that the worm has a unique taste and texture. Some describe it as earthy, while others find it unpleasant. Therefore, it is ultimately up to the individual's palate and willingness to embrace this traditional delicacy. In recent years, eating the worm has become less common due to concerns surrounding food safety and health. The worms produced commercially are typically raised under controlled conditions, ensuring they are safe for consumption. Nevertheless, it is essential to exercise caution when consuming worms from uncertified sources, as they may pose health risks. In conclusion, the worm in tequila, particularly in mezcal, is an age-old tradition that continues to capture the imagination and curiosity of tequila enthusiasts worldwide. While the actual reasons behind its inclusion remain somewhat shrouded in myth and legend, the worm serves as a symbol of authenticity, cultural heritage, and differentiation for certain producers. Although the worm plays no role in the production or flavor of the liquid, it remains an integral part of the traditional mezcal experience. Whether you choose to eat the worm or not, its presence adds a touch of character and intrigue to the already captivating world of tequila.